7 o'clock.
Okay, let's call it meeting to order.
Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. Regular meeting of the Borough Council of the Borough of Lodi, New Jersey. Time 7 p.m. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Lodi Borough Clerk has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof published in the Bergen Record by paid legal advertisement on October 21st, 2019, posted in the office of the Borough Clerk and on the Borough website. This meeting is being audio and video recorded.
So please stand, pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to
To the flag
the
of the
United
United States of America, to the republic
The republic for which it stands,
stands one nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilman Leto,
Here.
Councilman DiChiara,
Here.
Councilman Carafa,
Here,
Deputy Mayor Morton,
Present.
Mayor Luna.
Here.
Also present, Borough Clerk Carol D'Amico, Municipal Manager Vincent Caruso, Borough Attorney Alan Spinello, Police Chief Donald Scorzetti, Zoning Officer Construction Official Nick Melfi, and CFO Charles Cuccia.
Certificates and awards, Carl.
There are none, Mayor.
Approval of minutes.
Approval of minutes. Special meeting, May 11th, 2020.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DiChiara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
yes,
Deputy Mayor Morton,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Executive meeting, May 12th, 2020.
Motion. Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DiChiara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
yes,
Deputy Mayor Morton,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Closed session, May 12th, 2020.
Motion. Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DiChiara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
yes.
Deputy Mayor Morton,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Alan, can you hear us?
Not on.
Alan?
He may have been dropped.
Yeah, it looks like we might have lost his connection.
He's coming back now. He's frozen.
Yes, I can.
All right. Your video's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. As long as you can hear us, it's fine. Okay.
All right, I'll come back on air.
Regular
You can
meeting,
go to his phone for audio.
20.
Motion.
Is it on yet?
Here.
Second.
My video's frozen. How do you unfreeze the video?
I second, Carol.
Okay.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Okay.
You might be better off being up that down.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Morton,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes. Communications.
Receive the file, Mayor.
The meeting go on.
Report of the Borough Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. We were able to bring back our employees on June 8th. All of the staff is back at Borough Hall. However, Borough Hall is still closed to the public until we get some further direction or guidance from the Department of Health. However, we're already once that happens, to open up. It's not going to be the same as it was before. Naturally, the restrictions, but I anticipate us having the public return to be able to access Borough Hall physically sometime in mid-July at the latest, if not a little earlier. As part of that, there's more than enough preparation that took place for Borough to get it in place so that it would be safe for the public and for our employees. So we're doing everything. All services are being performed still via appointment only, or most of them are online, and it's been working very well. The last thing I have is the governor released all the organized sports information yesterday. Meeting tomorrow with Recreation Director Palladino and the Program Coordinator, Mr. Luna, and we will work on getting prepared to open up the fields for baseball, softball, soccer, football, etc., based on the guidelines that we've gotten from the state. So that's all I have right now, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Vince. Report from Mr. DeMaria, who just joined us.
Frank?
Frank, you're muted.
Okay.
Go to Tom, Scott.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, he's up.
He might not have heard you, Mayor. Frank, are you ready for your report, or you want
Frank, do you have a report?
the engineer to go first?
Have Tom go first. I just got to turn this on the computer.
Tom, you're up.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Just a quick overview. My office and staff is working on a couple of specific projects in town. One is the ADA Park down at Borough Hall. Another project is community development. It's a secondary park, which is near the tennis courts by Borough Hall as well. So there's 2 park projects currently under design. It should be ready to go in the next couple of weeks. We're also working on a DOT road designs, which includes the extension of St. Joe's Boulevard. We're working on a community development block grant road program. We're also working on improvements to the seniors building, which includes the roof repairs as well as their structural work for the slab and the concrete footing. That's what I have to report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Report from Mr. DeMaria.
Yes, Mayor. The 2020 budget is, as introduced, is going to be amended tonight by a couple of items. You have in a resolution that were required as a result of the DLGS of the division's review. Nothing major, just some housekeeping items, and that so minimal that it didn't rise to the level of having to be advertised. So what we're going to do is you're going to all have the hearing. You're going to close the hearing. You're going to pass a resolution for the amendment items, and then you're going to move to final adoption. Just some statistical information regarding the 2020 budget. The information I'm going to give you, Mary, is on the adopted, after the amendments that are included here. The total appropriations are showing a decrease from 31,400,000 to 29,700,000. Now, that 2019 figure that I gave you was reduced by those extraneous items for the Lodi Board of Ed and the redemption for the turf field note and the Marino's note on Railroad Plaza. So just to compare apples to apples, your total spending plan is actually down from the prior year if you strip out those 2 extraordinary items that you had. The tax levy is showing a reduction in order to effectuate a rate that's the same from 2020 as 19. You're down about $97,000 in tax levy reduction. I'm going to go into a little bit more about the tax impact for all the components that are known at this point. But at this point, you are amending and it's not affecting the tax levy, nor the rate, nor the impact at all. So the effect is there's a zero increase on a $315,000 residential assessment, average residential assessment, a figure that we've used for a number of years now. Along the lines, just jumping back to appropriation caps for a minute, Mayor. The maximum appropriation within caps after all the add-ons with the COLA ordinance and the bump up was $24,503,000. The spending plan that the manager and the CFO put together came in at, these are the discretionary accounts, the departments, the salaries, wages, and the OE, the discretionary. It's not your debt service or statutory expenses or anything like this. This is the departmental stuff. This is the stuff that the budgets that they work on. Those came in at $23,901,830. So it's under the maximum allowable cap of $601,559, which is quite a significant amount to be under cap at this point. That's going to the purpose of the ordinance again is to bank that towards future years. You were not for the next 2 years. So they did a good job, a terrific job of the discretionary spending and bringing these lines in at this $23 million figure, which is $600,000 under the maximum allowable spending. The 1% add-on, for the COLA ordinance only amounted to $235,000. So you not only did you not need the 1% add-on, you barely needed the 2.5% that was given to you in the first place. So the whole purpose of the ordinance will be just to carry over to 2 subsequent budgets. They're in place as a safety net. You probably won't need them if you stay on this path, but just to show you how your spending landed. This is included on sheet 3B of the budget document. So it'll be available for public inspection and then download on the website. So anybody wants to take a look at that cap calculation and the effect on that COLA, you can see it all laid out on that one page, and you can see that they came in at a significant amount under cap. Along the lines of the tax levy cap, there's really not much to discuss. I think it's kind of a moot point considering the fact that you came in at it's a decrease. So any of the calculations is basically a so what at this point. Doesn't mean anything. You came in at a decrease. So you really didn't. You will be able to bank that 2% increase towards future budgets as well. A little bit of different law than the appropriations cap carryover, but same concept. Whatever you don't use gets to be carried forward for a couple of years. No ordinance required on that part though. Okay. A little further, a little further on that operation, maybe if I could just have two minutes. Statistically speaking, the salaries and wages increase from 19 to 20, or in 20 over 19 was about 1.98%. The appropriations that are necessary, and you know that both in those lines, both years included a few buyouts, which historically we've had to go on special emergency, which the 5-year ones were paid off this year. The ones that we had to do the pass for the police department. So not only did they fit their regular contractual increases and their increases for the workers, they were able to keep the any buyouts that were necessary in both years under 2%. So that was a significant item in salaries and wages. The OE, the discretionary OE in the departments, less than that. It was less than 1%. It was about 1.67% on the discretionary OE. So I think you ought to recognize the fact that the departmental spending and the running of the borough, they're keeping the state is talking about 2%, 3%. This past year and the previous year, you've kept these numbers under 1%. So that's significant in a budget like this. The final going to review, Mayor, the part of the a lot of consideration was given to the pandemic and the effects of the potential shortfalls in the revenue. Your examiner actually went down every line, and the supporting documentation that was furnished, you exceeded estimates in all the categories up to this point, except for the projected estimates up to this point, except for the municipal court. And that's why we're addressing that one in the amendment tonight. For example, the uniform construction fees, we had put in for $350,000, which was an increase over the prior year. At this point in time, we're at $382,000, and we still have the rest of the year to go. So not only are now pushing them and with the danger of shortfalls, we've backed off them and gotten it and resulted in a zero increase. So any concerns with shortfall in revenue or anything should not be. They don't exist. And the one that was a consideration or possibility, the municipal court, we've backed that down as much as possible. And we know the number that's the final number that's going into this budget for the anticipated revenue for the municipal, we're going to hit that. We're going to make up a lot in the summer, and so that court, the final number will be exceeded. So we'll be fine with all your revenue categories. You'll be fine with. So that the whole concern back then is not going to be an issue with you at all. So they did a very good job with getting the revenues in and securing those other things, the other pole, the other wireless lease, and all that other stuff that all contributed to this to these revenues coming in excess of your projections. So very helpful. One more thing, Mayor, we'll take another 30 seconds and I'll stop speaking. The tax rate as to where it, again, we're speaking on the impact on the $315,000 residential assessment basically has been the borough average for a number of years now. The municipal portion for 2020 is estimated to be $2,923.20. The amount that it was in that for 2019 was $2,923.20. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of the 5 components are known actuals at this point. The school, the library, and the municipal. Those are actual. Those are in the counties. We plugged in a 2% increase for the county and the county open space. So the county we're projecting about a $22 increase. Open space about a $3 increase. The local school about a $50 increase. The library about a $9 increase, and 0 on the municipal side. So on average assessment, you're looking at about an $85 increase in total at this point with those projections for the county.
Nice job, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. It's a nice job.
Frank.
Chuck, thank you also.
Thank you,
Chuck,
Chuck.
you want to add anything before we move on? You're more than welcome.
Come on. Thank you, Mayor. Just that, the concern about the taxes and whatnot, we extended the due date in the second quarter, and we are concerned about the next quarter. Hopefully, at that point, when we get through the August payments, we'll be in a better position to tell you how we're going to end as far as revenue is concerned. This pandemic has not created a real expenditure issue. It's really created a revenue issue, and that's why Frank is making adjustments to the budget right now.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Let's move along. Resolutions?
Resolutions. Reorganization meeting Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, 12 p.m. Executive meeting Tuesday, July 21st, 2020, 5 p.m. And regular meeting Tuesday, July 21st, 2020, 7 p.m.
Consent agenda?
Consent agenda. These resolutions are matters covering operation of government and will be passed by one roll call vote covering all items on the consent agenda. Resolution number 20-58, approving bills for June 2020. Resolution number 20-59, authorizing the Borough of Lodi tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with Public Law 1994 C-72. Resolution number 20-60, authorizing the proper officers to refund the following overpayment of taxes. Block 174.16, Lot 2.01, 11 Redstone Lane, Lodi, year 2020. Resolution number 20-61, authorizing approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Hancock Street and Brook Street repaving project. Resolution number 20-62, authorizing approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Industrial Road repaving project. Resolution number 20-63, authorizing inclusion in the Bergen County Community Development Program and authorizing Deputy Mayor Vincent Martin to execute said agreement on behalf of the borough. Resolution number 20-64, authorizing execution of an agreement with the County of Bergen to supersede the cooperative agreement dated July 1st, 2000, and amendments thereto, establishing the Bergen County Community Development Program and authorizing Deputy Mayor Martin to execute said agreement on behalf of the borough. Resolution number 20-65, authorizing entering into a municipal services agreement with Haven Place East Condo Association for Solid Waste 2020 for a period of 1 year, commencing April 1st, 2020, and terminating March 31st, 2021, and authorizing Mayor Scott A. Luna to execute said agreement. Resolution number 20-66, authorizing entering into a shared service agreement between the Borough of Lodi and the Board of Education of the Borough of Lodi for collection and disposal of solid waste, vegetative waste, and recyclable material, dumpster pickup for institutional facilities operated by the board for a period of 1 year commencing July 1st, 2020, and terminating June 30th, 2021, and authorizing Mayor Scott A. Luna to execute the said agreement. Resolution number 20-67, authorizing entering into a municipal services agreement with Southgate Condominium Association for Solid Waste 2020 for a period of 1 year commencing September 1st, 2020, and terminating August 31st, 2021, and authorizing Mayor Scott A. Luna to execute said agreement. Resolution number 20-68, authorizing entering into a Bergen County CARES Act municipality reimbursement agreement with the County of Bergen, and authorizing Deputy Mayor Vincent Martin to execute the aforesaid reimbursement agreement.
We get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
yes,
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
I'm going to abstain on Reso number 20-58, F0143, 20-00675, and resolutions 20-60, 20-63, 20-64, and 20-68. Yes on the rest.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ordinances?
Ordinances, hearing and adoption, ordinance number 2020-07. Bond ordinance to authorize various improvements to municipal facilities in by and for the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $450,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2020-07 can call in.
Mr. Augusto.
Someone trying to call in, Vin?
Well, Joe Augusta was admitted, but I don't hear anything.
I believe he's on mute.
Someone else trying to log in?
Yeah, I just let whoever this person in down here, Mr. Furden.
How many are allowed in at a time, dude?
We can multiples. Looks like his audio is connecting.
Mute.
Hi, Mr. Dakota.
Yes, hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Hello, yes, let me get my, good evening, Mayor.
Can you please, excuse me, can you please state your name and address?
Yes, my name is Dakota
Someone
Ferdon.
else trying to log in?
Yeah, I just let whoever this person in down here, Mr. Furden.
Hello, yes. My name is Dakota Ferdon and I live on
How many
116.
are allowed in at a time, dude?
I'm sorry?
You have to shut off your background noise. If you have a live video,
I know how to do that.
his audio is connected. Okay. Before you begin, Dakota, Mr. Dakota,
Yes, hello. Yes, hello.
It's about the ordinance.
before you begin, is this about the ordinance?
Give me one moment. I cannot find the, oh, got it.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. All right, quick question before you begin.
Yes.
Are you commenting about the ordinance that we just read?
No.
No,
No.
I was admitted to this waiting room, but I was added.
Okay. We're gonna
We're
put
waiting
you,
for the public hearing.
We're waiting for the public hearing, yeah.
okay. All right, then we're gonna put you back in the waiting room, okay?
That's perfect, thank you.
Mr. Augusta, are you there?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So let me pull up this ordinance. So this is,
Excuse me, name and address, please, for the record?
yes, Joe Augusta, 4 Wissy Court.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is the exact ordinance that you passed in September of 2019. And when I asked about the list of roads and what you were going to use the money for, you couldn't give me an answer. So
It was
can you
provided.
provide? Excuse me?
It was provided.
No, it wasn't provided.
It was provided that night. When I
List of-
emailed it down to Borough Hall after midnight that night, and it was,
All right, so this is 450,000 for the local roads, correct?
yeah.
Okay, so we just passed the,
No, facilities, not local roads, facilities.
oh, this is for the various improvements.
Yeah,
Right,
facilities.
so, okay, oh, this one, okay, I got it. This one's for the various improvements. So what are the various improvements that we
The
intend?
non-stated, it's any improvement that's required to real property that's owned by the borough, the various locations, pump stations, recreation fields, the municipal building, the DPW building down on Richmond Street, anything and all locations, but the borough is responsible for, that our manager is responsible for on a day-to-day basis, 20-odd locations for any purpose. This is
Yeah,
what-
but we
this is what-
take out specific ordinances when things go wrong, just like, like we did last month, the 200,000 for the.
They are they are extraordinary ones. The extraordinary ones are specific. There is a handful of recurring ordinances that we've done for at least 10 or 15 years straight now. Please
Right.
acknowledge, we understand they've been done this way. It's in the records. They've done vehicles, equipment, facilities, roads and sanitary sewer have been done on a recurring basis every year for, I don't know how long now. So
Yeah,
it's not,
speaking of which,
these are the same ones. If and when there is something outside those boundaries that the manager thinks that is going to be above and beyond, those recurring ordinances are to cover his normal recurring expenses for improvements, for capital improvements for the year, for 1 year. That's what he gets those for.
Right, so last year in the budget, we didn't have this line item, and
Yes,
the
we
year
did.
before that. No,
We've
there
had,
was-
we've had, listen, we've had this
No, the year
capital ordinance
before-
for 15 years
Before
now.
that, in 2018, for various improvements, 100,000 a year was allotted for various
I
improvements.
don't know what you're talking about, because this was.
Yeah, so if you pull up the 2018 budget, it's $100,000 a year that was projected for over 6 years, which includes 2020. In 2019, you only had one line item for a roof, $60,000 roof repair for the 6-year projection. Now this year, all of a sudden, and last year you actually put this, it wasn't even supposed to be, it wasn't included in the budget, but you actually passed an ordinance for this 450,000. And now 9 months later, you're passing the same ordinance again for another
It's
450,000.
one ordinance per year. It is not in the budget.
Right. This is.
But you said it was in the budget.
It's
You said
in
it was
the budget, yeah.
150,000 in the budget. It was never
Right.
in the budget.
It's in the capital.
So why did you say it was in the budget if it was
It's
never
in the capital budget? So if you pull up the 2018 capital
It's
year
always
budget,
been 450,000. It used to be around 300,000 a couple of years
no,
back.
it was 100,000 in 2018. There was nothing for it in 2019. Then all of a sudden in 2019, even though there was nothing supposed, there was nothing,
Hold on
no
one second.
line item to it.
You want to hold on 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
You wanna hold on
You
one
want to
second?
pull it up? Go ahead, pull it up.
What year did you say?
And go pull up the 2018 budget, and you're going to see $100,000 was allotted for various improvements all the way up to 2023.
Now, you're looking at the wrong one. You're not looking at facilities. You're looking at the equipment.
2018-04, various improvements to municipal facilities. Estimated cost $600,000 over a 6-year period. Over a 6, the project number is 2018-002. So it went from 100,000 then to 2019.
You're
It was,
not looking at the latest. You weren't looking at the latest information.
I'm looking at the budget. So why don't you post the latest information? That's
It's
2
on
years
there.
ago.
It's right in there. It's on there already.
No, it's 100,000 is on there. So what's the latest information then?
Listen, I don't know what you're looking at. It's $450,000 a year.
Yeah,
for
for
facilities.
in this year's budget. Now,
It's always been. It's always been. A couple of years back, it was less. Didn't we just have this discussion a couple we didn't.
yeah,
couple
9 months ago.
No, it wasn't 9 months. And you're not Vin. I meant the manager.
Oh.
Vin, we were talking that we got raised from like 300,000 to 450. It's always been. It's never been that little. Unless that was an above and beyond amount for an extraordinary item. That would not get us through for all the locations that we have.
It's in the budget. And you can't even tell me what you're going to use the money for even now. Now we're up to 900,000 between 9 months,
Right.
and you're just various
It's
improvements
for
again.
any improvement that's required going forward for the upcoming year. Any improvement going forward. Do you own a house?
No, I understand what you're saying.
No, I'm
but
asking,
why did it go? Why did it go up so?
I'm
Why
asking
did it
you a
go up
question.
so
Do you own a
significantly?
house? Do
Why
you
did
own
it
a
go
home?
up?
Do you
Why
own
did
a
it go
home?
up so? Why did it go up so
Do you
significantly?
own a home? I guess you don't own a home. Do you own a home or not? I guess I'll take your silence as a no. If you owned a home, you start out the year, you don't know what's going to break. But I'll bet dollars to donuts that eventually your hot water heater is going to go. You're going to need a new roof. Your air conditioning is going to go, and your bricks are going to start.
Right.
That may not happen.
So why did it
but
go
one
up?
of those things is going to happen this year if you owned a home.
Why did it go up so significantly?
It didn't go up so significantly.
Go pull up the 2018
The
budget and the 2019
First
budget.
of all, we're in the 2020 capital budget.
Right.
Why are you looking at the 2018? You look at the 2019.
Because that was
Why
the
did it
projected
go up?
cost. It was projected up until 2023.
Then it was changed. Then you're not looking at the updated projection.
Yeah, I know. It was changed significantly.
Okay,
You know.
excuse me, let me interrupt
Smith.
excuse me, let me
What's
interrupt
this
for a
question for
minute.
this ordinance?
Excuse me, let me interrupt for a moment.
Mr. Augusta, this is the hearing of citizens, okay? What it is you can speak and comment on the ordinance, say whatever you have to say. It's not an interrogation. It's not a back and forth. If you wanted to ask a question or two, that's fine. But you can't be argumentative and arguing and disagreeing with every answer that's provided. We're trying to accommodate you, and we have a series of ordinances that are going to be discussed tonight. We don't want to get redundant with the same questions with every ordinance. So if you have comments, this is the time for you to make a comment. Whatever you want to say is fine, but you keep asking questions. They've been asked and answered this over and over. You don't accept the answer, that's fine. But I'm saying is we have to get through this by having a hearing of citizens, and then basically it's your comments. So with that, let's continue.
I'm going to put you back in the waiting room, Mr. Augusta.
Get a motion to close and adopt.
Motion to close and adopt.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-08. Bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment, for the use of various borough departments, offices, and agencies in by and for the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $100,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2020-08, you can call in. Anyone calling in, Vic?
I don't know if Mr. Augusta wants to be heard again.
Okay, if no one wishes to be heard, get a motion to close and adopt ordinance 2020-08.
Close and adopt.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-09. Bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery for the use of various borough departments, offices, and agencies in by and for the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $150,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2020-09, please call in.
I think Joe's muted if he wants to say something.
Yeah, I'm sending him a message via chat. I can't unmute him, so
No, he's got to mute himself.
yeah.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, no, you can move forward to the next.
Okay.
Get a motion to close and adopt ordinance 2020-09.
Motion to close and adopt the hearing on 2009. And I believe we've bought items for the street department this past year, and we're projecting to buy other items to replace as we go forward, as equipment gets older and doesn't work. Am I correct, Mr. Caruso, on that?
Correct, Mr. Correct.
I'll second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-10. Bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of the 2020 road reconstruction and curb and sidewalk replacement program, local, in by and for the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $300,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
I have a question on this. Could I ask a question now, Alan? Am I
Of course,
allowed?
of course.
Sure. This money is appropriated every year to fix roads in the community that aren't covered through county grants or any other money that is funneled into the town from either the state or the county programs, correct?
That's right.
This is
Federal,
local money. This is using local money to repair streets that are not county roads or access roads into Lodi, so we can do street repairs as we go along. Although we can't do every street in Lodi, over the past 5 years that I've been on this council, we've done road improvements, and I'm sure Mr. Crusoe has a list of roads that were done in the past. I understand Hone Street is finally going to be done, and some other streets that we're finally projecting out to be done. This $100,000 is seed money to see how many roads that aren't covered by county money that can be done in the town to keep the roads decent and in good condition. That's my question. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Carafa. The community development block grant is the federal component. Actually, the engineer, if I'm saying anything wrong, Tommy, please correct me. We start with our federal, there's a very limited list of federal roads that can be covered. And then there's a little broader list of, or a more extensive list of state DOT qualified roads that we use from there. And we exclude those from the local program. This is to cover all the other ones, otherwise they never get done. Or along the lines of pieces that don't qualify. For example, sometimes a state DOT is always a from and a to. For example, phase 2, St. Joseph Boulevard from Massey to Stokes. You may want to go a little further, but it doesn't qualify for state DOT. So you can append and add to that, supplement that paving with local money. This is your discretion. This gets you the curbs, the sidewalks, the paving, and puts us wherever you want. We isolate those separate, the federal and the state separately. This program is going on. I think when you were before on the council originally. I don't mean to take you by any means, but this arrangement has been going on for a number of years, and it's worked out very well for us. It really came to fruition when we had the public service repairs or the upgrades in the streets, where they would in their theory, we're doing half the, only doing half. But we had the flexibility of saying, listen, bundle all your streets together, we'll do the rest and make it nice and have an efficient paving program, rather than have public service do half the street up to the yellow line and us do the other half of the street on the other side of the yellow line. So it's been a good program and approach for a very long time. This has been in place long before I've gotten here. So you guys was developed many years back, and it's worked. So stick with it.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2020-10? Call it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I can, Joe Augusta, 4 Whistler Court.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so is there a list of the roads that we intend to fix? What roads are up next, what sidewalks are up next? Because you said, Councilman Carafa said decent and in good condition. And there's a lot of roads and sidewalks and curbs in the town that aren't in decent and good. There's still potholes today that haven't even been filled. And you take this money out every year, like you said, 300,000, and you can't even do the minimum. I mean, you can't even take care of the potholes. So what's the list? What are the next roads? Where are the sidewalks, curbs that you intend on addressing? In what order? Is that list available? Can you make that list available online so people can know?
I can tell you what the anticipated roads are, Joe. It's, for this year, it is Hohen Street, Arnott Street, a portion of Arnott Street, Greenlawn Drive, Constitution Drive. Those are the streets that are slated for this year. Now, besides that, the county is paving most of Main Street from 46 South, Passaic Street, and Union Street. And as you can see, all the construction that's going on right now, they're redoing all the curbs and sidewalks to be ADA compliant. We'll also, this year, finish the second phase of MacArthur Avenue, of St. Joseph's Boulevard. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Engineer, I believe First Street is this year too?
That's correct, and that all depends on if Passaic Valley Water can finish up their water main improvements, but we do have state funding for that road as well. And we also have county grant funding, community development block grant for McKinley.
For McKinley, yeah, that was the other street.
Tom,
Yes.
what would a road like Arnott Street, the portion of Arnott Street costs to do, just to give the public an idea of what?
Yeah, I don't have the estimate in front of me, but I'm sure it's probably, 150,000, something like that.
Tommy, how much linear, off the top of your head, an average price, how much linear feet does $300,000 get you?
Not a lot.
Okay, and how many miles of road are there in Lodi?
A tremendous amount. Tremendous amount.
Right, but a lot of them are covered by the state or county or.
No, not a lot of them.
You get grant money for that.
Yeah, 150,000 a year.
And the grant funds have been depleted over the last handful of years for various different reasons, and not all roads qualify for grant funded pools of money. So,
right, but we should also prioritize, at least maintain the roads. If there's a pothole, let's fill the pothole.
Well, Mr. Gusta, if I may ask, can you furnish us a list of where those potholes are and what streets they are?
I've seen them on social media, so I can get it to you.
All right, if you can, because we will address them. But if you see them, give it to us in an email.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have on this.
Get a motion to close hearing and adopt.
Motion to close the hearing and adopt.
Second.
Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeCara,
Al, you're muted.
Councilman DeCara,
Yes, sorry.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-11. Bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of sanitary sewer system improvements at various locations in Volume 4 of the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $150,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2020-11 can call in.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeCara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-12. Bond ordinance to authorize the funding of the borough's portion of the cost of various improvements to the Lodi Memorial Library in Volume 4, the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $200,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Question on this? Is this the matching grant?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
the one
This
third.
is from the state of New Jersey, correct?
It's the library, it's a matching grant.
Okay, so it's a matching grant. So we put up 200,000 and we get 200,000 from the library people in New Jersey.
Correct. Correct.
It's to do repairs to upgrade and do repairs to the library. Okay, thank you.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2020-12 can call in. Get a motion to close hearing.
I'll motion to close the hearing and adopt ordinance number 2020-12.
I'll second that.
Second, okay.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-13. Bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of the 2020 road reconstruction and curb and sidewalk replacement program, state, in by and for the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $200,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2020-13 can call in.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Joe Augusta, 4 Whiskey Court. Okay, so how is this one different than so this is for the state roads then? As opposed to the 300,000 that was for local roads and sidewalks?
It's state funding, correct?
Yes, it's a state road.
Yeah,
It's a state DOT road.
they're not state highway roads. They're roads that are funded through DOT state grants.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks, Frank.
Okay, so this is a $200,000 grant then?
Yes, it'd probably be about 150,000. We put in extra money if they don't cover any other soft costs or anything else that comes up along the way. That would be just convenient to do, that wouldn't be covered. If there's damage to a driveway, or there's damage to an apron, or they need to do a corner curb cut or something that they won't cover, we have to put extra money in there to cover those costs so that the project's encapsulated in full and it's.
So the cost is predominantly covered by the state, and this is
Correct.
just 200,000 extra for all the little things that are
50,000.
involved, you're saying?
50,000 extra potential. And if we don't spend it, we cancel it.
They give us 150,000, Joe.
Right. We appropriate 200. They give us, we're eligible for 150. If anything runs above that we need for this stretch of this road, we go into the extra 50. If we don't need it, we cancel it.
All right, okay, thank you.
Should a motion to close hearing and adopt?
Motion
We can close the hearing and adopt. Second,
Councilman Leto,
yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-14. Bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of 2 new fire engines, including original apparatus and equipment, in by and for the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,200,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2020-14 can call in.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Hearing and adoption ordinance number 2020-15. capital ordinance of the Borough of Lodi in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, authorizing the installation of ADA barrier-free curb ramps at various locations in by and for the borough, appropriating therefore the sum of $465,000 and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a county grant.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2020-15 can call in. Get a motion to close the hearing and adopt.
Motion to
Motion
close the hearing and adopt.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Introduction ordinance number 2020-16. Ordinance to amend ordinance number 2019-07, an ordinance establishing a preference for borough residents seeking employment with the Borough of Lodi Police Department.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Excuse me,
Yes.
did you allow for hearing of citizens on that ordinance? Did you allow?
It's an intro, isn't it?
Oh, good. I'm sorry.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes. B resolutions?
B resolutions. Mayor, we have a public hearing for the purpose of to obtain citizen input concerning the submission of a 2020 Bergen County Trust Fund Municipal Program for Park Development Grant Application for the project titled Improvements to Jet Age Park, located at 72 Kimmick Avenue, Lodi, New Jersey, 07644, tax block 71.01, lot 19.
Get a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes. Public meetings now open. Public hearings now open.
This is the public hearing on the improvements to Jet Age Park. Anyone wishing to be heard, please call in.
Motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close, oh, somebody motion to close the hearing?
Second.
Leto? Councilman Leto?
Oh, yes.
Councilman DeChara?
Yes.
Councilman Carafa?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin?
Yes.
And Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Resolution number 20-69, authorizing the submission of a Bergen County Open Space, Recreation, Floodplain Protection, Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund, Bergen County Trust Fund, grant application for the project titled Improvements to Jet Age Park. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto?
Yes.
Councilman DeChara?
Yes.
Councilman Carafa?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin?
Yes.
And Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Mayor, next we have the public hearing for the purpose of the public hearing on the CY 2020 municipal budget.
Get a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
Anyone wishing to be heard on the CY 2020 municipal budget, please call in.
Hello?
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. Joe Augusta, 4 Wesley Court. Okay, so why wasn't this public meeting advertised?
I'm pretty sure all public
I mean,
meetings.
this not public meeting, but this public hearing on the budget. Hello?
Second, Joe.
May 25th, 2020, Carol? Issue of the record. May 25th, 2020, issue of the record.
It was in the
Right.
record. Yeah.
It was published after the introduction, Joe.
So this June 16th date was published after the introduction? Because I searched online, I don't see anything saying that there was going to be a public hearing on the budget tonight. And according to the agenda, it wasn't even on the agenda.
It was on the notice, resolution number 20-57. Says right on the bottom, a hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at the municipal complex on June 16th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. At which time and place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2020 may be presented by taxpayers.
Where did you, where were you reading that from? That was in the...
Budget notice resolution number 20-57. And I advertised the introduction in the Bergen Record on the Monday after May 19th.
May 25th, Carol.
May 25th, thank you.
Okay, because as of 5 o'clock today on the agenda, there was no, this public hearing on the budget wasn't even on the agenda for tonight.
I actually sent it to my assistant right around 5 o'clock, Joe, and she posted a revised agenda on the website right around 5 o'clock.
And this resolution is also posted on the website? The 20-57?
No, but that was the resolution number that we approved the introduction of the budget.
The introduction, but not the date, but all right. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people didn't even know that that there was going to be a hearing on the budget tonight. But okay, so as far as the 6-year capital program, so we have $250,000 that we appropriated for capital improvements, correct?
That's not the budget. Is
Excuse
it?
me?
We're talking about the budget?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So 250,000 is set aside, is appropriated for the capital improvements.
Hold on. $250,000 for down payment on improvements.
Right, so 250,000, so same as last year. But year over year, I mean, this year, so what we were talking about with the ordinances and stuff, so the 6-year capital program, the anticipated project schedule, this year it's anticipated to be 1.3, so 1,350,000. What was last year's anticipated project schedule? Because this is a 6-year, it goes out 6 years, right? Because this is what I was talking to about earlier.
It changes when they get an extraordinary on there. That's not. It's gonna contain one that comes in unknown or unexpectedly for a 1 year only. It's not one of the ones that you want to pay attention to. The recurring, the 4 or 5.
Right. I'm talking about the recurring. So the recurring costs, a year over year. What kind of an increase in borrowing are we seeing this year?
When it's an increase in borrowing, what do you mean? Rates?
So how many bond anticipation? So compared to last year, how many bond anticipation notes did we take out last year?
Well,
For how much? And how much?
One note to cover all our ordinances.
You take out one note to cover all the ordinances?
Correct.
So you're gonna take out a note for 1.3 million?
Correct, plus whatever we're rolling over. The CFO does a complete analysis of this when the time comes to borrow, depending on what his needs are. But it wouldn't be efficient doing more than one note.
So you do one note at any particular month that you choose to then do that note? Was that the note in what did you do it in February?
Was that the one you did in February, Charles?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
So you already did one in February. So this one you're gonna do in.
These are authorized. This is what's authorized.
This is not borrowing. This is authorization.
Not borrowing. This is authorized but not issued. When he borrows, it then becomes authorized and issued.
Right. So does that happen like at a set schedule every year, a set date? So
You do have a
February.
scheduled date, which is right now is February. He can borrow at any other time during the year that he wants, but based on the needs. But he manages his cash over the course of the full year to keep the number of issues down. It cost him about, I don't know, Charles, maybe $800 to do a note with bond. When you do one note for all these.
You're talking about bond counsel costs, yes, about $800.
Yeah, so it's efficient. He's got it down.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Oh, there was a time limit on this? Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks. Yep.
I need a motion. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
No, well, we're not on hearing the citizens yet.
Oh, okay. Motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto?
Yes.
Councilman DeChara?
Yes.
Councilman Carafa?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin?
Yes.
And Mayor Luna?
Yes.
Resolution number 20-70 to amend CY 2020 approved budget.
Get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto?
Yes.
Councilman DeChara?
Yes.
Councilman Carafa?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin?
Yes.
And Mayor Luna?
Yes.
Resolution number 20-71, adopting the CY 2020 budget as amended.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto?
Yes.
Councilman DeChara?
Yes.
Councilman Carafa?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin?
Yes.
And Mayor Luna?
Yes.
Now, there was a motion by Carafa, second by DeChara.
Yes.
Yes.
Moving along. Get a report from zoning.
Yeah, Mayor, you received my report last week when we went at it with the, hang on one second, I'm just trying to lower the volume. I don't know if you want me to read the whole report over again that we read, went over it last week. The only major thing is that 200 Greg Street, the building number 1, the shell is completed. There was a little incident there today that their water truck broke down, and when they were pulling out a lot of the machinery, because all the fencing is up except a couple of spots, they created a little bit of dust and everything. They stopped working around 2:30, 3 o'clock this afternoon, loading any more of their equipment out of there due to the fact that their truck did break down. I was out there in the morning. I'm out there every afternoon, and that's basically what was going on. So other than that, I have really nothing. We're up in order. Like Vinny said, we're back in the office with everybody working permanently. So everything is running good and nice and smooth in the office.
And you were able to bring in $53,455 in fines, right?
We brought in for the month of May, due to the fact of the virus, I mean, I could go over some of the numbers. We brought in a total of $53,455 for the month of May, even with the virus, from the girls working at home, and everybody was working hard, and we did very well this past month. Compared to the month of May in the last few years, we more than doubled the intake of fees for the month, considering that the COVID virus was around. So we had a pretty good month.
Okay. Great
So,
job, Nick.
Before we move on, so Nick, I'm just gonna ask you, because I know we spoke today, is just to reinforce with them, if that water truck breaks down, they need to cease and desist immediately if it's a dust bowl. Not after you give a call or we get some calls from the neighbors. You know, I mean, an operation like that should have a backup plan. This is the second time we had to address this.
Yeah, and then I did speak with him, and when I did speak with him as soon as I got off the phone with you, he said that they did stop like loading the trucks when the water truck went down. He said in the afternoon, he said, and they're going to continue loading tomorrow once they get their water truck back up and operating. But he did seize pretty much the operation. It was just when they were pulling out by the, after they loaded most of their equipment to get it out of there. So he's pretty good, the guy. He's very compliant, and he knows players that are involved with the neighbors. You know, he's been dealing with them, and I keep, they have his number. He has their number. So, they've been contacting him back and forth with that over there.
All right, thank you, Nick.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Nick.
Moving on, Manager Caruso and Tom basically touched upon what I had to report tonight. But I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of us, Frank and Chuck, for presenting us with a 0% increase, leveling out flat, and with the decreases that you gave us last year as well. So thank you. It's a great job.
Thanks, Chuck and Frank.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks very much.
I'd like just to comment on and just give our borough manager a shout out a little bit. I went down to Borough Hall today. It was the first time I've been down there in a while since all the dividers are up, and it really looks good. Everybody looks protected. It was good to see the crossing guard that was in the lobby. When I walked in, she actually took my temperature and everything. So and it's a plus. She's just not letting anybody walk in the building. So, we need to be safe and great job. And on the flip side of the police department, Donnie, I was down there this Saturday morning speaking to some of the guys. So, great job with them too. You guys did a great job, and I'm glad to hear you back at full force. But appreciate everything you guys did.
Yeah, well said, Vin. Also on on Borough Hall, Manager Caruso is going to be having installed all touch-free in a bathroom facility, all touch-free devices for safety. So that'll be all in our parks coming up shortly, and the Borough Hall, all our restrooms as well.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank the DPW for the 2 signs in front of Borough Hall with the graduates.
About to say that.
Yeah, for the graduates.
Really nice touch.
Yes, good call.
Because this is really a different year for anybody who's graduating middle or high school. So I thank them for that, and just the overall work that's been done during this pandemic by our workers zooming in. I Zoom for work, and it's a very different platform to work on doing now. But I'd like to thank that. And I actually got a few compliments from some borough residents about the garbage company again, how nice the guys are. And I know they were down for a while, were a little short and whatever, but people made it a point to tell me that they continually be pleased with the garbage men.
That's great.
What they're doing.
I want to.
That's really good.
I'd like to also thank the DPW for setting up for the protest that we had. Also taking care of all the parks, doing all work in-house, which is saving the town a tremendous amount of money. Our printer that we had purchased for the DPW is coming in handy with all the new signage, and for the high school and of course the middle school graduation signs. So thank you, Brian, and the rest of the DPW. Also all borough employees for putting up with, I guess we all had to put up with the coronavirus. Thank you, Vin, the borough manager, for dealing with this unprecedented time in all of our lives. So
absolutely.
And also the police department for everything they've been going through. Appreciate all the guys and women of the department. Thank you.
And Albert, if I could just say, what he said with the police department with last week's gathering in March, I'd like to thank all the residents who were participating and I thought did an excellent job of showing how you can do something without having a problem. I thought it was
I
very
agree.
well organized, and
Yeah.
I thought the speakers, the people who spoke were on point, and it was just nice to see community involvement. It was something
Absolutely.
different, it was something nice.
Very
So,
well
And
organized.
Councilman
the
Crawford,
department and the surrounding towns who helped us out, and I know I saw something from the other towns thanking us for helping them out. But again, the country's going through a very, very difficult time right now, and it's time to band together as a community and go forward thinking.
right. And Councilman Crawford, just going off that, the committee that I had brought up to the council last week, we actually have our first committee meeting on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So I will prepare, I'm going to take minutes on it, and I'll prepare a report for our next council meeting and get back to you guys on how it went.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Joe.
Yes, good job on that, Joe.
You got it.
Okay, any
why don't you-
old business?
Joe,
Sorry.
so before I go, why don't you explain a little bit on the record, what you're doing and with who?
Yeah, so
what
this
the
is going
focus is.
this is a co-sponsorship between the Lodi Mayor and Council and Lodi Can. And what it is it's going to be a town diversity committee, and it's going to consist of various members of the community, Lodi Can, and we're just going to talk about, not issues in town, but go over ways that we could improve a communication between the mayor and council and the rest of the community. So we have, like I said, this is our initial kickoff meeting. We'll have more information for you guys next time we meet.
Good. Thanks, Joe.
You got it.
Thanks, Joe. Anyone else? I don't want to cut you off. Old business? New business? I'd like to open the meeting to hearing of citizens. Each citizen will have 5 minutes to be heard. And Carol, if you want to read the call-in number.
It's up on the screen. Right?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Yes, hello.
Hello, am I free to speak?
Yes, please state your name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Dakota Ferdon, and I reside on 116 Home Place in Lodi.
My name is Sarah Santana. I reside in 105 Norwood Avenue, Lodi, New Jersey.
Okay, can you please speak one at a time so we could identify who's speaking, okay?
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
I will be speaking the majority of this. But first, I would like to confirm that I have 5 minutes to speak.
Correct.
Okay, my time starts now.
Correct.
But first, I'd like the message that whoever sent me the host who sent the message to me, who was saying to be patient, thank you. But first, I would like to say good evening, Mayor Luna and the council. My name is Dakota Ferdon, and this is my girlfriend, Sarah Santana, as you have been just introduced. I am here today to present to you a proposal. We have spent our formative years as Lodi residents and are graduates of the Lodi public school system. As busy college students, we have taken a task to present to you a multi-part proposal to relocate the Columbus statue located on Main Street. Okay, so the controversy surrounding Columbus is that nobody can agree whether or not he fits in today's Lodi values. While also trying to represent the Italian-American community, we should keep in mind that there is a diverse group of people in Lodi who are in need of representation. We believe that we have a proposal to memorialize a better suited role model that is fit for all of our citizens. I would like to emphasize to the council that we are not trying to divide our community by any means, and we are not in favor of the destruction or the demise of the statue. One of the two statues memorializing Columbus and Lodi was dedicated by Lodi residents right across from the police station on Main Street. It was erected as a dedication towards Columbus. We are proposing that we relocate the statue into Borough Hall for community viewing. Citizens will be able to share their cultural significance to the statue with one another by sharing testimonials through a public interactive journal. By relocating the statue, we have an opportunity to memorialize an Italian American who represents all of Lodi's core values. This statue serves as a public figure and a role model to everyday passerbyers. And as we know, Columbus and his team of voyagers have been revered for their bravery and sacrifice for the discovery of our new world. However, we know today that this world was already inhabited by our indigenous and native peoples. There is a lasting pain amongst our indigenous peoples of today. Our First Nations were invaded by Columbus's crew. Over the course of his invasion on the New World, he consistently ordered the execution of thousands of Lucayans and sold indigenous people to slavery and to sex. As many are quick to point out, these actions occurred hundreds of years ago, so why reference them now? This is a great and consequential question. Firstly, it is our belief that we can ultimately learn from history, and setting a point mark after which atrocities and similar acts are acceptable is not the way we should analyze history. What we would like to accomplish is to relocate the statue from its home now into Borough Hall. By doing this, we are not hiding his history, but rather giving an opportunity to have other citizens share their Italian American heritage with one another. Our proposal is that we can provide the citizens with a journal or a log that shares individual stories about Italian American culture in Lodi, as well as their personal sentiments regarding the statue. This will be provided by us. While also placing Columbus in Town Hall, we will ultimately be protecting the future defacement and damage. We do not want what happened to Columbus and Garfield to happen to our beautiful town. I recognize that there will be a void that must be filled physically across from the police station, and we have just the solution for that. We are proposing also that we add to our community by choosing to erect a role model who fits the ideal standards for everybody. Our town was built by Italian immigrants, so it is imperative that we choose an Italian American to represent our deep Italian roots, but it is also imperative that it is someone who reached out in other communities in which we are all tied together. Some of these role models include that of Frank Sinatra, who helped desegregate the music industry, and Mario Savio, who is an activist for civil rights and voting. We believe that these public figures represent the values of everybody in our community. We know that relocating the statue is not free, so I, on the behalf of the community, am asking for the support of the council. We are also willing to gain finances privately through community and business donations. We will be sending a written proposal along with detailed action plans that define our goals. We are also willing to, with that being said, we need to know what the best email to send these documents to for your review. With that being said, thank you for all of your time. And with all I have to ask is, what will the council do to join us in meeting the values of all of our citizens?
Well, Dakota, first of all, I want to thank you for bringing that to us. That was a great presentation. And have you ever listened to Frank Sinatra at all? You're young.
Yeah, I was in the Lodi High School jazz band all 4 years.
But you could send your proposal over to the borough manager, and as a council, we'll view it and we'll discuss it. And I want to thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you, and I appreciate giving us the time and the platform to be able to speak on issues like this.
You're welcome.
Presentation.
Thank you very much, Dakota.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wishing to be heard?
No.
Oh, get a motion for adjournment?
We got two more.
Two more? Okay.
They're in queue. Go ahead, Joe.
Presentation.
Thank you very much, Dakota.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, it's ready? Okay, it's the delay in the video. Okay, Joe Augusta for Whistler Court.
Go ahead.
Where are we at with the E-code? Why is that still not available when every surrounding town has their codes and ordinances available online. Why hasn't that still been done?
I can address that, Mayor. Yes,
Right.
what happened was we've totally revamped the Municipal Land Use Act in the Borough of Lodi. With the assistance of the Borough Planner, Gary Paparosi, and Nick Melfi, zoning officer, we put a complete revision on the entire ordinance. Under the Municipal Land Use Act, we're required to send that to the planning board for review and comment for a certain period of time, 35 days. And then after we get the review and comment, we're free to adopt it as we proposed it or with recommendations or changes by the planning board. That was all set to go. It was timely sent to the planning board, except that the planning board hasn't had any hearings because of COVID-19. The meetings were suspended, and it's appropriate to give them an opportunity to at least have a meeting to discuss and come back with their comments, since they're the ones primarily engaged with developers and zoning and planning applications. So we're waiting for their review and comment, which we hope to get right after they have the next meeting. We will then review it and then put forth the ordinance for introduction and adoption. And once that's done, we'll send the entire package to E-Code for them to publish the E-Code. Put it all on.
So you've made comprehensive changes, because last time comprehensive changes have been made, it caused the Greg Street project to happen. So that one ordinance covers many things, right? That's a big ordinance. It's the 195-11.
Yeah, it's revisions to the zoning ordinance, correct?
Right. Okay, so that'll all be made, all the changes in it, that'll all be made available to the public before.
Yes, once we get the planning board's comments back, we're gonna publish an actual proposed ordinance for introduction, and then the public can comment on it on the final hearing. Any comments that they may have, they can certainly comment on it. But that's what we're waiting for. Even though technically we gave it to the planning board more than 35 days ago, it's not appropriate for us to act on it without them having a meeting to comment.
Right, I understand. So as far as the executive meetings that have been going on during this, the COVID-19 pandemic, why don't we make those available online? Because they've been Zoom meetings, right? They've been virtual meetings. So you can easily make those available online, right?
They are online.
The executive meetings.
The work session.
The work session. We
Yeah.
don't post. Oh, I mean.
Yeah, they're not online. The work sessions aren't online. So the executive meetings that you had, for example, the one that you had last week is not made available online. Also, why don't we, with all the resolutions and the ordinances, why don't we publish the full resolution and the full ordinance online ahead of time? So whatever's on the agenda, why not make the full resolution and ordinances that are on the agenda, why aren't they posted online so people can review them? Because how can you speak with just that little brief summary of what an ordinance is going to be or what the resolution is? How can the citizen speak to it? That's something that we can easily do, even on the borough website. And I don't know if you anticipate doing that when E-Code, like E-Code's already live for you guys. You just don't allow public access. Because
with Mr. Augusta, I've answered this a few times. Whatever E-Code put up was without our approval. So that none of those ordinances, that zoning ordinance, is actually our ordinance. That's why
they are the ordinances, because we've had a contract with E-Code since 2013, and they've been paid. Like I said last time, I don't know what the number is, but it's probably in the hundreds of thousands since then. So they're not being paid for no reason, right?
But they're not. No, they're not our ordinances. They're not.
Sure, they are ordinances. It's our contract and our ordinances.
I'm not going to argue with you, but if you match up those ordinances that they have online against ours, they're not the same. That's why we're rectifying the entire zoning ordinance to get one up that is our.
No, but you're changing them now. That's why they're gonna not. They won't match anymore because you're.
No, that's not true.
You're making.
If you look at the hard copy of our zoning ordinance compared to what they have online, it's not the same ordinance.
They codify the ordinances, so you're not going to have this. But like you said, you're making comprehensive changes.
That's 5 minutes, Joe.
That's 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Then. Thank you. All right.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? Do you have someone else too, Vin?
Yeah. Okay. You're on mute, Ms. Lopez.
Oh, hello.
Hi, there you
Sorry.
go.
Hello.
So, hi, I'm Angie Lopez. This is my brother, Omar Lopez. We live at 16 Avenue E, and he'll go first. We're gonna have separate times, by the way, just in case we go over.
You have 5 minutes, guys, okay?
Okay.
To start off, I agree with most of the stuff that the first speaker, Dakota, said. I personally disagree, though, with keeping the statute due to the fact I personally do not agree with the fact that my family, more like taxpayer dollars, go to keeping the image and glorifying the image of a man who, first of all, never set foot in America, wasn't the first founder of America, and oppressed and killed and raped my people. It doesn't make sense to me why that should be a thing. You don't ask the Jews to erect a statue of Hitler and then pay for it. I have dyslexia, so I ask that you please be patient with me. Christopher Columbus does not, in my opinion, deserve to be glorified with a statue. As Dakota said, I believe we should put up someone else like Frank Sinatra, someone who helped fight for civil rights for minorities and such, unlike Christopher Columbus, who opened up the slave trade and the constant putting down of the indigenous people of America. He unleashed pigs into Cuba that destroyed the ecosystem. There are still problems today. There is countless evidence of him selling little girls to slavery to become sex slaves. I do not believe that this is someone who shows Lodi's ideals. I think it's a stain on our community. History is not linear and is always evolving, and we should be too. We know these things and we have known these things for a while. So I think we should learn from his mistakes especially and remove him, respectfully, of course, and replace him with someone who is a better role model. And that is all I have to say.
Okay, so hello. My name is Angie Lopez, as I previously stated. I was actually one of Mr. Carafa's students. I've been part of the Lodi school system for 12 years. I was one of the first people in the one of the first classes of the Felician and Lodi High School partnership. And I just wanted to say, because I've seen this going around a lot, people saying that this isn't real history. I'm a Latin and Iberian Studies minor at the University of Delaware, so I actively study this. And as I stated before, I was educated in Lodi my whole life and was a part of the Felician students. These are not the ramblings of uneducated children, as I've seen many call it. This is real. This is what has happened. Denial allows for damages to continue against people of color, especially Black and Indigenous people. It allows for a more unjust society and allows for injustices to be excused time and time again. Keeping this statue up allows for the erasure of history. We are not taught what truly happens in the school system. We were always taught that this land magically became colonized without resistance and without pain. We are taught that pilgrims simply came and shared a peaceful meal with the Native Americans, leading to modern day America. This obviously is not what has occurred. We're not asking to revise history. We are asking for people to acknowledge that these myths are dangerous. My brother and I are Cuban, Guatemalan, and Salvadorian, which are the lands that were colonized and directly impacted our ancestors. I had to come to the terms that I would not be here without the suffering of my people. My existence as an Indigenous and white mixed race Latina is one of historical rape and erasure by Christopher Columbus and the people who came after him to colonize these lands. If I can come to terms with this, then people can come to terms that this hero was not one of at all. I agree with Dakota Fredon and his proposal and hope that the town of Lodi takes action and takes this into consideration. I too was part of the LHS jazz band. I graduated with Dakota and Sarah. And I think Frank Sinatra would be a great idea because he's also a New Jersey native. He did so much for music for the community and he truly is a great person. So I hope that we can still memorialize the Italian American dream while also considering to not hurt other people's dreams, because this is a stain that shows these other people's dreams are held to a higher consideration than ours. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for allowing us to speak. I appreciate it so much, and that's all.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Thank you all much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Anyone else in queue then?
Nope.
You get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Leto,
Yes.
Councilman DeChara,
Yes.
Councilman Carafa,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martin,
Yes.
and Mayor Luna.
Yes.
And the time is 8:36.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, everyone.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody. Stay safe.
You
Yeah.
too.
Bye.
Take
Carol,
care.
I emailed you the budget in Excel. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay.
All right?
Carol, see you in the morning as well.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Hi, fellas.
Good night, all.